Have you ever trusted someone who later betrayed you, or been deceived by a smile that hid a dagger? In this world, appearances are weapons. Today, through the eyes of Machiavelli, we will learn how to read anyone instantly, not by magic, but through 18 psychological truths forged in the fire of human deceit. Before you can rule others, before you can defend yourself from deception, you must master one sacred art, the art of perception. Most men live in blindness, not because their eyes fail them, but because their mind refuses to see what is unpleasant. They believe words, they believe gestures, but rarely do they see intention. I tell you this, those who cannot read intention are slaves to those who can. The art of perception is not about suspicion. It is about awakening. It is the act of observing without emotion, seeing without vanity, and understanding without mercy. To perceive is to pierce the veil of charm and illusion that all humans wear. You must learn to look beyond the performance of honesty and into the mechanics of behavior itself. For every word that leaves a man's mouth, there lies another truth buried beneath the tone, the hesitation, the subtle inconsistency that betrays him. The wise man observes, but never announces that he does. He studies gestures, posture, and timing. He notes when one speaks too much or too little. He senses when laughter masks insecurity, or when silence hides calculation. A smile can be an act of war, a compliment, a form of control. And those who fail to perceive such things will live at the mercy of others' intentions. To read men, you must detach from them. Stand outside the crowd, do not drown in emotion. When others are caught in the surface drama of friendship, love, or loyalty, you must remain still. Your stillness will grant you vision. For when a man is calm, his perception becomes sharp enough to cut through any lie. Notice this truth. Human beings constantly reveal themselves through contradiction. A man who insists he is humble is already boasting. A woman who claims she never lies is already defending herself. The louder one declares his virtue, the more he seeks to hide his vice. This is the first principle of perception. What is said most passionately is often least true. In the court of life, everyone performs. The merchant plays the honest friend, the lover plays the devoted partner, the rival plays the respectful ally. Each role is carefully crafted to gain something: trust, favor, influence, survival. But if you wish to see reality, you must not fall in love with the mask. You must fall in love with truth itself, no matter how ugly, and truth rarely smiles back. When you begin to master perception, something extraordinary happens. You stop reacting. You no longer take offense when insulted, nor become flattered when praised. You start to see what others are trying to make you feel. And once you see the strings, you are no longer a puppet. This is the point where observation becomes power. Every great ruler, every cunning negotiator, every strategist who survived history's chaos possessed this one gift: the ability to see the invisible. They could sense betrayal before it spoke, weakness before it cracked, and opportunity before it arrived. They looked not with their eyes, but with their judgment. And that judgment was forged through endless observation, through years of studying the smallest human detail, until nothing surprised them anymore. Most people will never notice the truth standing right before them because they are too eager to trust, too desperate to belong, too afraid to be alone in their awareness. But Machiavellian perception demands solitude. It requires you to walk among men as an observer, not a participant. You are not here to believe their stories. You are here to decode them. The eyes can deceive, but patterns do not. Watch what a person repeats. Watch what they defend. Watch how they treat those who cannot benefit them. In these moments their mask slips, and for a brief second you see their real nature. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. To perceive is to possess foresight. You will know who is loyal before loyalty is tested, who is false before betrayal occurs. You will hear truth inside lies, and lies inside truths. It is the rarest skill of all, the ability to see a man's soul through his behavior, before his words can charm you into blindness. Every man wears a mask. Every woman, too. It is not deceit that drives them to wear it. It is survival. From the moment a child learns that truth can wound, he begins to craft a disguise. That disguise grows thicker with every betrayal, every fear, every ambition denied. By the time he walks among others, his true face has long been buried beneath 1,000 layers of performance. You see, men are not what they show. They are what they hide. The mask is humanity's oldest invention. It exists in every court, every friendship, every act of love and loyalty. The priest hides doubt behind piety. The ruler hides weakness behind authority. The lover hides calculation behind tenderness. The mask is the armor of civilization. It protects, but it also deceives. If you wish to understand people, you must look not at what they reveal, but at what their mask was designed to conceal. Observe closely. No mask is random. Every mask serves a purpose. Some are worn to attract admiration, others to inspire fear. Some are crafted from charm, others from humility. But behind all of them lies the same motive: to control perception. Men do not seek to be good, they seek to appear good. They do not seek truth, they seek approval. Their mask is a negotiation between their desires and the world's judgment. If you wish to read a person instantly, study the design of their mask. When a man always speaks kindly, ask what truth he fears to express. When a woman presents herself as flawless, ask what insecurity she hides beneath the perfection. When a friend always agrees, ask what advantage they gain from your comfort. No one wears a mask without purpose, and once you know that purpose, their entire personality unfolds before you like a map. The tragedy is that most people do not know their own mask anymore. They have worn it so long that it has fused with their skin. They defend their false identity more fiercely than their own honor. Confront them with truth, and they will rage, not because you insulted them, but because you threatened their illusion. To see behind someone's mask, you must not challenge it directly. You must let it slip naturally. How? By observing contradiction, by placing them in discomfort, by removing the stage upon which their performance depends. When they lose control, the mask falls. Mankind lives in theater, and every interaction is a play. Lovers perform sincerity to gain affection. Leaders perform confidence to command obedience. And followers perform loyalty to gain favor. The one who understands this theater never takes words as truth, never takes gestures as pure. He listens to tone more than speech, watches hesitation more than intent. Every pause, every half smile, every flicker of unease reveals the crack in the mask. Remember, even virtue can be an illusion. Some people display kindness to manipulate guilt, honesty to disguise cunning, generosity to buy influence. The Machiavellian mind does not despise masks, it studies them. It recognizes that deception is not evil by nature, it is strategy. And he who can interpret masks wields the advantage of knowing what others cannot see. The most dangerous mask is not the one that lies, but the one that pretends to be truth. Those who claim purity often conceal corruption. Those who display innocence often crave control. The true observer watches how a person behaves when unseen, how they treat those beneath them, how they respond when their mask is not needed. In those moments, the raw nature of the soul emerges. You cannot destroy masks. They are part of human nature. But you can learn to read them, to move through the world knowing who is genuine, who is dangerous, and who is pretending to be both. When you master the understanding of masks, you no longer fall victim to appearances. You become the one who sees through illusion, while others remain trapped in the theater of their own lies. Power is not always taken by force. Often, it is claimed through silence. Those who speak too much reveal their weakness, while those who observe quietly collect power piece by piece, until they command without uttering a word. Observation is not passive. It is the highest form of control. The man who watches without reacting learns what others reveal in haste, and he gains the one advantage that rules all others: knowledge before action. Most people are blind to their surroundings because their minds are consumed by the desire to be seen. They speak to prove their worth, argue to assert their intelligence, and act to impress others. In their hunger for validation, they expose every thought, every fear, every flaw. The wise observer, however, does none of this. He listens more than he speaks, studies more than he declares, and allows others to unveil their souls while he remains concealed. Observation transforms ignorance into foresight, and foresight into dominance. In every room you enter, there are those who speak to command attention, and those who remain silent to command information. Which of the two do you think truly holds power? The one who talks exposes himself. The one who listens gathers ammunition. A single moment of quiet observation can reveal what 1,000 conversations cannot. Watch how people enter a room, how they position themselves, whom they look at first. Power gravitates toward those who understand dynamics without announcing their presence. When you master observation, you begin to see what others miss. You notice patterns in behavior, the repetition of words, the timing of laughter, the hesitation before a lie. You notice how alliances form not through loyalty, but through fear, how envy hides behind politeness, and how weakness disguises itself as virtue. Every gesture, every tone, every glance becomes a signal, and in those signals you find the truth that no one dares to speak aloud. The art of observation is not merely about watching others. It is about mastering your own attention. Most men watch but do not see. Their minds wander, their judgment clouds, their ego interrupts. But the Machiavellian mind sharpens focus like a blade. He observes without judgment, without pity, without distraction. He lets silence stretch until others fill it with their confessions. For silence is a mirror, and those who fear it will expose themselves to escape its reflection. There is a reason rulers, generals, and manipulators throughout history valued spies over soldiers. A soldier acts with strength, a spy acts with sight. One conquers land, the other conquers minds. To rule men, you must know their movements, their habits, their hungers. You must become a master of human weather, predicting storms before they come, reading tension before it erupts. Through observation, you can guide outcomes without ever appearing to intervene. That is true power, invisible influence. The greatest manipulators are not those who speak persuasively, but those who listen with purpose. They ask questions that reveal hidden truths. They watch reactions that betray emotion. They analyze silence as deeply as speech. Every word you hear, every expression you witness becomes a clue, and the more you collect, the more control you acquire. In politics, in love, in business, the same law reigns supreme. The one who observes rules the one who acts blindly. When others rush to respond, to argue, to prove themselves, remain still. Let them reveal their nature through impatience. Your calm will unnerve them. Your silence will make them speak more than they should. And while they waste energy proving their strength, you will quietly map their weaknesses. To observe is to prepare. It is the art of seeing the entire game before your opponent takes his first move. The fool believes power lies in expression. The wise know it lies in restraint. When you train your eyes to see what others hide, when you read emotions like text and behavior like prophecy, you no longer chase power. It flows toward you naturally. Because, in a world of noise and vanity, the one who truly sees becomes the one who truly commands. Every kingdom falls not by the strength of its enemies, but by the blindness of its rulers. The same is true in human relations. Men are conquered not by weapons, but by ignorance of human nature. To rule wisely, to protect yourself from deceit, to read others before they strike, you must understand the hidden laws that govern behavior. These are not moral laws nor divine ones. They are psychological truths, eternal and unchanging, as old as man himself. Fool believes people act from logic. The wise know they act from weakness, desire, and fear. These are the three engines that drive the human mind, and through them, every truth is revealed. The first truth is that men reveal themselves most when they think no one is watching. Observation, in their unguarded moments, will tell you more than hours of conversation. Their true character slips through their smallest gestures. A glance, a tone, a sigh, each is a confession. The second truth is that emotion always outweighs reason. Even the most rational man becomes a creature of impulse when his pride or heart is touched. If you wish to predict behavior, do not ask what one thinks, ask what one feels. The third truth is that people love the illusion of choice. They will resist when commanded but obey when they believe they have chosen freely. Influence does not demand authority. It requires subtlety. Give two paths and guide them toward the one you desire. The fourth truth is that admiration and envy are twins. When people praise you, they often disguise their resentment. Learn to hear the envy beneath the compliment, for it will one day turn against you. The fifth truth is that power exposes the soul. When given control over others, the virtuous reveal restraint, and the wicked reveal greed. Watch what a man does when he believes no one can punish him, and you will see his true nature. The sixth truth is that kindness is often a tool, not a virtue. Many will use compassion as camouflage for manipulation. They give not to help, but to bind you with gratitude. The seventh truth is that fear governs loyalty. People follow not the kindest leader, but the one they fear to disappoint. Fear sharpens obedience, comfort dulls it. The eighth truth is that pride blinds judgment. A man who must appear strong will make foolish choices to defend his image. Exploit pride, and you control the proud. The ninth truth is that guilt is the easiest chain to forge. Remind a person of their mistakes, and they will serve you in repentance. The 10th truth is that the more one hides, the more one reveals. Silence can betray as easily as speech, the direction of a glance, the hesitation before a reply. All unveil what words conceal. The 11th truth is that trust is built on illusion. People trust not because of honesty, but because of what they want to believe. Feed that desire and you will gain their faith without earning it. The 12th truth is that repetition creates belief. Say anything often enough, and even lies begin to sound like truth. The 13th truth is that anger unmasks weakness. Rage is the mind's confession of losing control. Observe it carefully. It tells you where to strike. The 14th truth is that desire overrides morality. The moment a person believes they can obtain what they crave, they will betray every principle to reach it. The 15th truth is that boredom breeds betrayal. When loyalty brings no reward, people seek excitement elsewhere. Keep your allies engaged, or they will create conflict to feel alive. The 16th truth is that people crave recognition more than reward. A single word of validation can control those whom gold cannot buy. The 17th truth is that every accusation is a reflection. What people criticize most in others often mirrors their own hidden guilt. And the 18th truth, the final revelation, is that no one sees themselves as evil. Every betrayal, every lie, every manipulation is justified in the mind of its author. This is why deception thrives. It hides beneath righteousness. Understanding these truths is like holding a torch in a room of masks. You begin to see motives, patterns, and intentions long before others sense danger. Through these 18 psychological truths, perception becomes prophecy, and power becomes effortless. You have now glimpsed what most men never dare to see. The machinery behind human behavior, the silent truths that move kings, lovers, and enemies alike. To read others is not sorcery, it is discipline. It is the craft of noticing what others ignore, of hearing the lies beneath praise, of seeing the motives behind smiles. The world is not driven by fairness or reason, but by desire, fear, and the endless performance of virtue. Those who fail to see this are ruled by it, but those who awaken, those who learn to read anyone instantly, no longer stumble through the shadows of deceit. They walk through life with eyes unclouded, every gesture a clue, every word a map, every silence a confession. Knowledge of human nature grants you not only protection from betrayal, but mastery over it. You begin to move like the unseen hand in the room, quiet, deliberate, untouchable. Remember this: men are predictable not because they are simple, but because they are ruled by the same eternal forces: pride, fear, envy, ambition. Once you understand these forces, you no longer react to people, you read them. You no longer fight for control, you possess it. This is the essence of Machiavellian psychology: to see without emotion, to think without illusion, and to act with precision. In a world built on deception, the ability to perceive truth is the sharpest weapon. Use it wisely, not cruelly. For those who see too much must also carry the weight of what they know. Yet, to the few who master this art, the world opens like a book written in plain sight, and every human face becomes a page waiting to be understood.